OpenAI acquires Astral, UV/Ruff, what it really means. Introduction. OpenAI has acquired Astral, the company behind Python's blazing fast package manager UV and linter Ruff. In this article, rather than echoing what the tech press says, I'll reason from first principles about what this acquisition means for both sides. What it means for OpenAI. This is a strategic investment in deepening Python dependency. OpenAI's core business is LLM services via API, and the vast majority of its users are Python developers. Astral builds UV, package/project manager, and Ruff, linter/formatter, both rapidly becoming the de facto tools in the Python toolchain. The key insight here is that OpenAI wants to own the foundation of the world where AI writes code. When Codex, ChatGPT, and future coding agents generate and execute massive amounts of Python code, owning the underlying toolchain, dependency resolution, environment setup, code quality checks, directly impacts agent reliability. The fact that UV is fast and deterministic is critically important for AI agents spinning up sandboxes at high speed. There's also the developer ecosystem lock-in angle. This is structurally similar to Microsoft acquiring GitHub, securing a channel to naturally embed yourself in developer workflows. What it means for Astral. An escape from the Rust-powered niche. Astral's challenge was that both UV and Ruff are free OSS with an unclear path to monetization. While running on VC funding, it's realistically hard to charge for a package manager or linter. Coming under OpenAI's umbrella solves the sustainability problem overnight. However, community relations are the biggest risk. UV was embraced precisely because it was a neutral OSS alternative to pip and poetry. The moment it becomes OpenAI's property, concerns like is it safe to keep using this, and will it be bent in OpenAI's favor, are inevitable. UV's revenue model was always a question mark. Both Ruff and UV are completely free OSS, no enterprise edition, no hosted service. Raise VC money, build great tools, drive adoption, but what comes after? No developer is going to pay a monthly subscription for a package manager. There were roughly 3 plausible scenarios. First, enterprise billing through private registries or CI/CD integration. Second, getting acquired. Third, running out of money. The first path is extremely difficult. NPM tried it and ended up being bought by GitHub. So Astral's founders must have had an exit in mind from the start. Build overwhelmingly good tools, drive adoption, and the adoption itself becomes value. If there's value, someone will buy. In VC terms, this is actually the orthodox strategy. And OpenAI was the most rational buyer. In a sense, this is a microcosm of OSS structural problem. Users get the best tools for free, while creators keep running with no clear exit. Anyone who ships their own open-source products understands this asymmetry. An acquisition that symbolizes the revival of Linux and OSS. A decade ago, no one would have imagined a startup rewriting Python's package manager in Rust attracting tens of millions in funding. It became possible because AI elevated Python to the world's most important language, making development environment quality business critical. On a larger scale, the position of Linux and OSS has fundamentally shifted in the AI era. Both LLM training and inference run on Linux. VLLM, PyTorch, the CUDA ecosystem, all OSS. Running VLLM on Ubuntu via WSL2, exposing services through Cloudflare Tunnel and Caddy, storing data in SQLite, all open technologies. A single developer running over a dozen projects on one RTX 5090. That fact alone is the most concrete proof of Linux and OSS revival. This would have been impossible without the emergence of AI. The real story, competition for the AI agent runtime. I see this fundamentally as a move in the competition over the AI agent runtime. In a world where AI writes and executes code, what matters isn't human-facing DX but can the agent reliably set up and execute environments. UV's design philosophy, fast, deterministic dependency resolution, single binary, is perfectly suited for agents. I believe OpenAI bought this not as a human developer tool, but as AI agent infrastructure. With Anthropic pushing agentic coding through Claude Code, OpenAI securing the toolchain layer is a strategically coherent move at a different layer of the stack. Is it safe to keep using UV? In the short to medium term, the impact is negligible. UV is a Rust-compiled single binary, even if OpenAI steers it in a strange direction, forking the current version and continuing to use it is technically trivial. OpenAI also has no economic incentive to lock UV down, its value lies in adoption itself, making license changes or closed sourcing self-destructive. One interesting angle is the relationship with Claude Code's workflow. As Claude Code becomes the standard for agentic project setup and dependency management, the fact that UV, the de facto standard, is now OpenAI's property creates a subtle dependency for Anthropic. But as long as it remains OSS, this is a political issue, not a technical one. Could this repeat the Java/Oracle history? There are structural similarities to the Sun Oracle story. A widely adopted open technology passing into the hands of a company with a different philosophy. After Oracle acquired Sun, the Java community watched Oracle's licensing strategies and the Google lawsuit with deep distrust. This accelerated migration to Kotlin and Scala. But there's one crucial difference: Java's specification and implementation were tightly coupled. JVM, JDK, the JCP specification process, trademarks, Oracle seized all of these at once, enabling control. UV, on the other hand, is just a CLI tool. It doesn't control the language specification or PyPI. If you don't like UV, you just instead, not a single line of existing code changes. So a repeat of the Java situation is unlikely. The more realistic danger is OpenAI skewing UV's development priorities toward optimizing for their own agent infrastructure, pushing community-requested improvements to the back burner. This is a different kind of rot from Oracle's control, harder to see, which makes it worse. A scenario similar to MySQL stagnating under Oracle and MariaDB being forked is plausible. The Rust community's temperament. The Rust community has a distinctive culture. If you don't like it, fork it, and the fork might end up better than the original. When you think about it, UV itself is a product of that spirit. Pip, Poetry, PyEnv, VirtualEnv, looking at the proliferation of tools in the Python ecosystem, Astral said scrap everything and rewrite in Rust, and because the result was overwhelmingly fast and accurate, it spread like wildfire. If OpenAI's control becomes a problem in the future, the same thing will simply happen again. Conclusion. Use UV as long as UV remains UV. If it changes, the community will act. There's no need to abandon a working tool for political reasons, that's the rational call. Just like the philosophy of proven technology, the rationality of a tool and your feelings about a corporation can be separated. This article was developed through a dialogue with Claude by Anthropic. The analysis and reasoning emerged from that collaboration.